Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome. It's time for your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. And don't adjust your television sets. This is not Gerald Wofford. We haven't had him chemically altered to be such a massive individual as Mr. William Lowe here. But William Lowe, Director of Tourism and Recreation with the Muskogee Creek Nation, joining us today. And we're always grateful to have Mr. Lowe with us, and certainly the audience out there. He's probably no stranger to you. He's been a part of our program for quite a while, doing great things with him and his department, and it's great to have you here today.
Thank you, Jason. It's great to be here as always.
Well, we got lots of things going on at the Muskogee Creek Nation, and I know once that starts happening, you and I are going to cross paths very frequently, and so we're always out and about at different things. But I know now we're segueing into the fall. Things are getting a little bit cooler out there, so I know you're ready for some football.
Definitely ready for football. Love it.
Yeah, well, we got lots of things coming up, lots of exciting news. You know, you could, while we're on football, you could look at some of the big headlines out there, you know, as far as Braden Scott, one of our Native American high school athletes up at Sequoia Schools. He's actually one of the top recruited quarterbacks in the nation. He'll take his talents to Memphis next year, but so I couldn't help but throw in that plug there as football season get ready to start.
Exactly.
Yeah, but no, we got lots of great things going on here at the Muskogee Creek Nation, and I know when we look at those big events coming up and the things that the Tourism and Recreation Department is involved in, we have to speak to you because we know everybody out there wants in on the loop. But one of the things that I wanted to bring you in studio today for, William, was to talk about the Muskogee Hall of Fame. It's a new concept coming out. It's one that's not new in honoring our past Muskogee great achievers, but it's new in name and really location and things like that. So there's a lot of excitement about this, and actually time of year too, you know.
Certainly.
And so talk a little bit about the Muskogee Hall of Fame just to get us started.
Well, the Muskogee Hall of Fame is actually taking the place of the Living Legends ceremony that actually used to go on every festival time. Mm-hmm. You know, at the end of June, we'd have our Living Legends come on stage. We'd have a small ceremony, and you know, it would be about maybe a 10-minute event, if you will. We never got to really showcase them the way they should be. So what we decided, we worked with Chief's office to say, well, how can we honor our citizens that we deem living legends, if you will? How can we honor them in a better way than just a 10-minute ceremony? Right. So, you know, in all our meetings, we said, well, how about the Muskogee Hall of Fame? You know, one thing branding-wise with Muskogee media, the Muskogee everything is the traditional Muskogee spelling, which is a great concept. Well, what we're going to do this year is the Hall of Fame will be at the River Spirit Event Center, October the 11th. And it's right before the intertribal meeting. So a great way for us to have a black tie, cocktail dress, traditional dress affair to where we have elegant menu, some good entertainment, a good MC, and honor the 4 Hall of Fame inductees.
Well, what really you know, stands out to me there is, you know, you went from the 10-minute, let's just have a little ceremony, it's hot out at the festival, you know, everybody's sweating, and you know, it's one of those deals where now you're in an environment where you can comfortably dedicate an entire evening to these folks. And, and we love the Living Legends ceremony, but this is almost an expansion of that, and really almost you know, taking it to another level.
Oh, you bet. And see, the unique thing this year is, you know, in past Living Legend ceremonies, there was a committee that nominated these folks who were awardees, if you will.
Yes.
Now we have opened up the nomination process to where on our website you can download a nomination form. Any Muskogee Creek citizen out there, you can send their nomination in, and our nomination committee will choose 4 winners, which are from the art industry or art segment of the professional background, business professionals, which are entrepreneurs, any business leaders. Volunteer service is a big part of our tribe, so that's something we want to be able to honor someone in that aspect, and public affairs.
Well, yeah, there's certainly, you know, you just mentioned there in each one of those categories. I know that folks of you out there watching the program, you know, you're thinking of somebody right now that you've known that's done great things for the Muskogee Creek Nation, and a Creek citizen that's proud of that heritage, but has also stepped out into the regular world and done great things there too. And you sort of intermingle that love of culture, that love of heritage, with making something of yourself and giving back and contributing back to the Creek Nation. I think that's one of the things that we'll find as we get these people that are named is that there's a common theme, is that they wanted to sow seed back into the Muskogee Creek Nation and the people.
You know, and for the Muskogee Creek Nation, if they're out in the world and they're doing great things and becoming recognized amongst their industries, then, you know, for us, it recognizes the tribe as well as them being tribal members. You know, the great thing about this event is not only is it a black tie traditional dress affair, but it's an opportunity for us to raise money for our Muskogee Nation Foundation. So the Muskogee Creek Nation Foundation, the scholarship program, all the tables that we sell, any sponsorships that we get from this event will go towards that and festival programming. So we can keep the cultural traditional events at the festival going. So, you know, it's, on one hand, we're honoring our inductees in a great event, but on the other hand, we're raising money for a worthy cause like our scholarship program. And
what a great venue, what a great stage to be able to showcase the Muskogee Creek Nation's abilities to honor their past, you know, contributors, things like that. But also, as you mentioned earlier, this is our chance to host the Intertribal Council. It's running right along the same time at River Spirit Casino. We're going to have everybody that's anybody within the state of Oklahoma and Indian Country there and ready to, you know, get down to business with our other tribal leaders. So it's in effect a great stage for that to happen. I know that had to be within y'all's thinking when you planned it.
Of course, yeah. There's always a good strategy set, especially with, you know, the River Spirit already being showcased to all the other tribes. Then, I mean, the Muskogee Hall of Fame Gala was a great opportunity to do it that Thursday before. I
think it's a great thing too that, you know, we look at it and it's contributing to the scholarship fund. When the scholarship fund was first announced, I was really excited because, you know, it's one of those new things that we have coming up that's, you know, it's uncharted territory really. We look at it, and you could say that about a handful of things going on at the Muskogee Creek Nation right now. But the scholarship fund, in the way that different scholarships are named after some of our living legends and people that have really made their mark, and also you look at it to an effect of a lot of people around the Muskogee Creek Nation right now banding together, working together, coming up with different events and things that they have, such as the Hall of Fame, to how can we contribute this to the scholarship fund? Have you seen that too?
Oh, you bet, yeah, and it's a great collaboration with, I mean, just everyone working together, you know, so, you know, which is a great segue to say, if you know those special volunteers out there, it's an unjust not to nominate them. Go to the website, download a form, print that form off, fill it out, or you can just save, email it to tourism@mcn-nsn.gov, and we'll do the rest for you.
And it's, you know, as Chief Tiger always mentions, you know, he always talks about the giving heart of the Muskogee people and how we band together and help out one another. And I certainly know that everybody out there has to know so many volunteers because of that, because the service part of this is one I think would probably be the greatest population of people to pick from. So, well, you know, talking about the Muskogee Hall of Fame, kind of get into some other things. You know, tourism and recreation, you guys, this is sort of coming off in a really busy time of year, obviously, with festival and everything. But now you're kind of getting into other things, and we're looking at other things that are certainly a huge part of the Muskogee Creek Nation. And you guys got some other big events coming up. I know you'll have a big presence at the Tulsa State Fair. And can't forget about number one, a Council Oak coming up. Tell us a little bit about some of these upcoming.
The Council Oak ceremony is October the 20th. We have a concept already. You know, our thing is we sell T-shirts and we celebrate the Council Oak ceremony that Saturday at the Council Oak Park in Tulsa. You know, that's us planning this gala. Having time to work on the Council Oak is, you know, can do so much in a day. We're totally busy on that. But the other thing I want to introduce to everyone is on October the 27th, we're having a Native Made Arts Festival out at the Riverwalk in Jinx. So everyone will start seeing the press releases, the forms to set up a booth. It's free to any federally recognized tribal artist, you know, be it painting, storytelling, flute playing, the whole gamut will be out there, and we'll get that together, and hopefully I can be on Native News again to promote that event.
You got it. Well, from what it sounds like, you know, nobody's really going to have to hunt for Red October. It's really happening this year. You know, lots of great things going on. Riverwalk, that ties in with the vision of the Muskogee Creek Nation from the beginning. You can go back and look at your history of Native News Today episodes. When we first started interviewing J.D. Colbert, Chief Tiger, they all talked about the Riverwalk crossing was going to be a place where we were going to have fairs, we were going to have people out there, it was going to be family friendly, and it was one of those things to where, you know, this is falling right in line with the I guess the way that place is going. So it's a great thing. Right,
and I mean, what a great event to have after the Muskogee Film Festival.
Yeah, so, great. Yeah, everything's right there.
Riverwalk will be showcased.
Yeah, when we got great things coming up, and like we said, we're going to keep you in tune with all that's going on with tourism and recreation. They have certainly a lot of work to do, so I'm not going to keep him too long here in studio, but it's always great to visit with Mr. William Lowe. And guys, you guys keep up the great work, and like I said, you'll probably be seeing a lot more of him here pretty soon as we get into these great big events here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. So we'll take our very first break of the day. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll have lots more as we get into our regular episode. You're watching Native News Today.
Jahojefkat Paul Fixakodos. Ilkanagat Tekobache Mikusapkajogon man Amikusapkajokodos. I'm able to preach in English and Muskogee, our language too, so there's not many that does that today. When I was growing up, that's all we had, Muskogee language, and that's all they preach. I could talk my language when I was small. When I grew up, I could understand what they were saying. We don't want to lose that, language, especially our songs, our native songs and the Muskogee hymns. We want to keep them.
Okay, very pleased to be joined in studio right now with Gloria Moore from the Muskogee Creek Nation Diabetes Program. She's going to share with us a little bit about the summit coming up. Now, if you're around the Muskogee Creek Nation and you're very aware of what we do every year, then this is no stranger to you. You've seen this the last few years and really do a great job, the diabetes program. Really, a lot of planning goes into this. But Gloria, I know you guys are excited about this one coming up this year, and it's actually going to be in Okemah coming up this Tuesday.
That's correct. We are inviting everyone to come to attend the 6th Annual Muskogee Creek Nation Citizens Diabetes Awareness Summit. This year we're going to have it for the people who live in the southwestern part of the nation. That's why we've moved the summit from the middle of the nation in Okmulgee, and last year we had it in the north in Sapulpa. This year we're having it in Okemah, and that's this coming Tuesday, August 28th.
And everybody out there watching, if they want to come to the event, it's not like they have to buy a ticket or anything like that. They just come to the event, and it's open to the public, right?
Yes, it is a free event, and we're hoping many people will come. If a person wants to come and have their cholesterol checked, we're going to have health screening. You must come fasting at 7 o'clock. So the health screening will go on all day, but for those who want to come and have their cholesterol checked, they need to come fasting. Yeah. But go ahead and take your blood pressure medication. That part's okay. And then just come fasting, and we have healthy snacks for people afterwards. We're going to give everyone a healthy lunch. We have healthy snacks during the day. We have a wonderful list of activities and presenters this year.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's so neat about this event is that you come to the Diabetes Summit, and not only is there some great speakers, some great information that's disseminated, but also lots of healthy eating tips, lots of, like you said, health check stations, if you will. A lot of different things that they can do to not only kind of learn about ways to prevent things in the future, but also see where they're at right now.
That's right. It's important that a person knows their health status, and then they can make decisions about what they're going to eat, and learn the importance of taking medications, taking care of diabetes, and we have a big part, presentations on preventions. So the importance of preventing diabetes is something that word we want to get out into the community.
And Gloria, another thing is a lot of people talk about with the treatment of cancer how really important it is for early detection. Is the same can be said for diabetes and getting an eye on things when you first think it may be starting to go wrong?
Yes, it is. It's important. The earlier you can detect it, when your person comes into their healthcare system and they go through their examinations, if the doctor picks up on that the person has this diagnosis, then they will treat it. And it's important to get in there because some may not have it, but if they are going that direction and they have this condition called prediabetes, then it's important for them to get in there because there's things they can do to keep from getting it.
Well, you know, we won't go into specific statistics or anything like that, but are our Native communities, are we at a warning level? Are we at a dangerous level? Or are things looking better as far as it is diabetes in our Native communities right now?
Well, right now it continues to be an epidemic. And it's something that is coming up with our younger people as well, because people know that in the United States there is a problem with obesity and our children are overweight. It's important that we come in and learn about how to help provide the information to help our children to eat healthy meals, to prevent from getting diabetes and keep them from getting overweight or manage their weight in a healthy way.
I think that's what's been so exciting about the last couple years with you all is really there's been a shift to the youth almost, getting involved with them and getting active and really linking up with national things such as the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama's Get Out and Let's Play, Let's Move initiative, and really get them physically active, off the couch, away from the video games. I know that's, you know, easy to get caught up into, but get out, get active, exercise, and you guys have really linked up the event with the Tulsa Shock. I mean, lots of events like that to really go that route.
It's true. A big part of what we do is what we call community prevention. And this is about having jump rope programs in the schools, having move it programs in the schools, doing the things in our schools that would help to teach children about diabetes so they will not get it. And then also bringing in parents to educate them as well.
Well, that's great. And one of the things actually that perfectly ties into is at the Diabetes Summit this week, there will actually be a video shown, and shameless plug here, that I did for the museum department. Those guys, Justin Giles, John Beaver, do an excellent job, and they've been invited to the summit by you all to do a presentation. And the reasoning is because if everybody remembers the Alt-Mulgee Trail of Tears commemorative bicycle tour wasn't just about retracing our history and paying homage to our ancestors. That was 50% of it, but the other half was going out there, getting active, and really setting an example for the youth, setting an example for our citizens about a healthy lifestyle. And that was as big of a part of the Alt-Mulgee tour, and that's why they're going to show the video at the event Tuesday. But I know all of you folks can't get out there Tuesday, and we hope that you do. But for all of you there at home, we're going to have a special treat for you now. We're going to show you some of that video from John Beaver and Justin Giles' Alt-Mulgee tour. And Gloria, I want to thank you once again for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good luck with everything. You're doing a great job.
You all come out now.
We first envisioned this probably about, probably a little over, let's say, a year and a half ago, in terms of what to do for a museum project. We're really looking to challenge the idea of what, you know, museums or cultural center projects can contribute within their own communities, starting at home, and then how we sort of reach out from there. And I looked over at Justin. We're thinking, well, what's something that we can do that really be interactive? And we started thinking about this. We put together this, or we're really thinking about this, looking at, we wanted to bring, you know, we thought it'd be interesting to bring health and other components, history and culture into a project. And of course, you know, removal is a part of is obviously a part of our history and background here for Creek Nation, along with other tribes here in Oklahoma. And we said, well, how can we sort of start to tell that story or present that, you know, in sort of a very sort of creative and interactive way in terms of projects. And we thought about that. And we thought about it for quite some time, and you know, came about to be this sort of this bicycle project.
We were looking to do a project that really was going to highlight who we are as Muskogee people, and that really was encompassing everything from who we are in ancient times, in a sense, to of course who we are today as people. Best way we figured we could do that was to go and start from the beginning. We started in Mulgee Mountains there in Georgia, right outside of Macon, Georgia, going right to where, in a sense, where the seat of Muskogee Creek Nation began. Just being there at that site, you know, Obviously, a lot of emotions came through. One significant emotion was pride. Pride that you could understand that, you know, your ancestors built and walked and lived and had this essentially little city that we lived in. You know, when I say little city, I mean it was really just a community that we lived in, and understanding that's where we came from, and this is where I'm walking on, essentially a hallowed ground type of sense. So there was really, that first day that we were taking off, there was a sense of pride that, again, we are back here in our ancestral homelands. And so right from the beginning, the bicycle ride-in started off really with the idea that we first began with. That was the idea of, again, paying homage and paying respect, and almost in a sense reaffirming our connections to our ancestral homelands. That right from the beginning was the, I want to say, the impetus for the bicycle ride was, again, paying homage to who we are as Muskogee people.
If you just want to look at the, you know, the facts and the figures that, you know, that go with it, and what we had sort of based sort of this project on was not only is the number our Native American communities at large, you know, at a higher risk for the onset of type 2 diabetes. A really alarming number was the rise, one of the most recent facts and figures that was put together by the American Diabetes Association. What the number that's out there was between the years of 1994 and 2004, there was a spike, you know, a rise in the presentation of type 2 diabetes in the age group of like 15 to 19. And that's a really alarming number, because once you have, you know, diabetes, I mean, you have diabetes. And if we're seeing, you know, an onset at that early of an age, you know, that should send, you know, that should, the warning bell should go off in our, you know, our Native communities in terms of not only our present, but where we're going, you know, for future.
During those months leading up to the project, I'm a lacrosse coach here in Tulsa. I coach the 5th and 6th grade level lacrosse teams, and Mr. Beaver lives close to where we would practice. And of course I have my stepsons, they're both 10 and 11 years old, and of course all the other kids that were on my team. And you know, my whole thing to them as a coach was stressing the importance of, you know, being physically active to begin with. And then you have to do something with being physically active. You have to make sure that you're training in the right way. You have to go to practice. You have to listen to your coaches. You have to have a regiment that will train your body to work how you want it to work, especially when you have a goal and a desire to really compete or train, or, as John did, ride a bicycle from Georgia to Oklahoma. So one of the things that I really got to enjoy was a lot of times either we were going to or from practice, of course, and every once in a while, you know, I'm going through my, I guess, life lessons from Coach Justin Giles to my stepkids there, and just again talking about the importance of practice, the importance of eating right, the importance of training. And many times I would say, you know, they would understand what I'm talking about, and then they would really get it. But as kids do, they don't really get it until they see it or they're doing it. And I know a couple times we were riding back from lacrosse practice, they would pop up and they said, "There's John, there's John, there's John," and we would see him right along Riverside Drive there, along the Arkansas River, and he'd be on his bike training. And to see that, you know, it said a lot for for me, you know, again, from being an adult, being a head of a household, and then of course having a museum project that we're doing with our own Muskogee Nation Museum and Cultural Center. A lot of this is, we want to make sure that we're doing, or that we're conducting, producing projects and programs that really hit on all these things, and they're really geared towards, for me at least, education for all of our Muskogee people, for all of our people, really the general public at large, but for me more so our children, our youth. And then for, as I mentioned, seeing John Beaver train on his bike and having our Muskogee youth doing the same sort of thing, being physically active, and then seeing someone that's really in a leadership role, in a mentor role, like John when he was on his bike, it really hit home for me that, you know, these are the sort of things that you want to inspire in our Muskogee youth. You want them to be physically active. You want them to have a goal. You want them to be something more than just a couch potato, essentially. And really, I think this Okmulgee to Okmulgee project that we did really highlighted that aspect of training, and being physically active, eating right, and again, really putting goals for yourself. You know, the Okmulgee to Okmulgee bicycle project, yes, we had 1,080 miles to cover from Georgia to Oklahoma, but it was really very much a day-to-day process. You know, you had 30 miles today, you had 40 miles today, you had 70 miles today, you had 80 miles today. each day was a process and a step, just like, again, being in any type of sport or any type of physical training, you have to do things a step at a time and make sure that you're reaching those day at a time to reach your goal. So again, seeing John Beaver train on his bike for this Muskogee project, and then having first-hand experience of seeing our Muskogee youth, see that leadership, see that type of inspiration just did wonders, and that's really what that Muskogee project was about.
Back to the beginning of when we were putting this project together, it was I think someone asked me along the way to how does the past, present, and future sort of intertwine in this, and when we think of health, I guess in terms of our not only our native communities but our communities at large, we've sort of thought and would like to think of it as you get head, heart, body, soul type of thing, and all that in terms of your history and culture and health is sort of all sort of intertwined in that, and sort of if one sort of takes a hit, I think the others, while they try to make up for that, they're also taking a hit as well. And so what we were looking at is overall health of our communities. You can be if you have pride in your history, pride in your culture, pride in your, I guess, your personal well-being and health. That's all gonna, in the long run, if we take care of all those things, whatever that means for each of us as sort of individuals, that's going to be good for not only say Creek Nation but Native peoples, and then ultimately, in sort of I hate to say it like that, or would be, people kind of put that into like a utopia type of phrase, but ultimately I guess that's what we look for. Myself, I come from my family has diabetes is present, in my family. It's not unique. There are lots of Native families out there whose family history, health history is like that. But what we really like through this project, really for people to take away, is that it doesn't have to be inevitability, that just because, and it's true, my father has diabetes, but that doesn't mean that I have to have diabetes. It doesn't have to be an inevitability. It is preventable, and we can take measures to do that.
Well, folks, that'll do it for this week's episode of Native News Today. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the program. We know we did. We had William Lowe in the studio with us talking about some of the great things going on at Creek Nation Tourism and Recreation, some big events coming up at the Creek Nation here in the coming months, and also Gloria Moore. So glad to have Gloria on the program, and the diabetes program at the Muskogee Creek Nation does such a great job, and we certainly wish them all the best with their big summit coming up this Tuesday. Hope you can go out and make it to that if you're in the area. Want to tell everybody out there, as we always do, catch us on the internet if you can't get us on the TV screen. www.muskogeenation-nsn.gov. Check out our story archive and our live stream. Also, go check us out on Facebook. Go check us out on Twitter. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next time.